Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is still Wednesday, December 28, 2022. This is my post-market wrap-up. We're going to have some fun here, especially one part that I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to do. Let's see how it plays out. People, let's ignore the dog shit stock market, which really is dog shit as of late. I want to focus on a few other things first. What do you and I know is going on right now? We're in an economic free fall. That economic free fall, well, it just got even worse. It's accelerating here. So pending home sales fell off of a freaking cliff. As a matter of fact, so much so, their largest drop ever in history. So what's going on here? We have a real estate market that's, falling through the freaking floor here. And I don't think we're done at all. Look, what is the job of the market? What is, in a free market economy, in a free market, what is the one and only job of the market? Well, it's to do one thing, to determine fair market value. When you have some sideshow, okay, I'm talking about the Federal Reserve, who's been in this market full bore, all right, since the last meltdown, and you have distortions across the spectrum of asset classes because of that, what we're seeing here is things normalizing, okay? The Federal Reserve, because they don't coordinate with other world central banks, but they're all doing the same things at the same time since the last meltdown, just a coincidence, okay? You know that because putrid vomitous mass. Oh, I hate that man so much. I'm talking about Yellowstone, pal. He told us that they don't coordinate. It's all bullshit. All right. Anyway, when central banks do what they've been doing now since the last meltdown here, it's pretty incredible. We've never seen anything like it in the history of the world. Buying it all, keeping rates suppressed. You get what we have now. An environment that makes no sense, detached from reality in every way you can possibly dream about, think about, and maybe even fantasize about. Ooh, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the issue is very clear to me, and I'm sure it's clear to you. We are in a global economic meltdown, but meanwhile, everything is fantastic and great. Ask President Braindead himself. He'll tell you that, and he'll also tell you that there's inflation is dropping, which it is not, and he'll try to mislead you and distract you and tell you a whole bunch of other stuff too that's just completely false. But you all know that. Speaking about government here, I want to bring this to your attention. So, what do we know is going on? Well, inflation, it turned out that it wasn't transitory, nor has it been temporary, and it certainly isn't peaking for like the 10th time that they're trying to fist feed us that bullshit line. So we have members of Congress now talking about another disbursement of stimmy checks to help people cope with inflation. Now, you see, here's the deal. What our lovely, beautiful, dog shit, members of Congress won't allow you to know is you can't, again, spend your way out of inflation. You can't give people checks for any amount and expect that inflation is actually going to go down. All that's going to do is maybe for a day or two, maybe give people a little bit of relief. But all this is going to do is balloon the money supply even more and add to the underlying cause of inflation. That is a ballooning money supply. But you see, they're playing the game. What are they doing? What do we know is happening right now? We have banks issuing ninja loans again. No income, no assets, no nothing. You can still get a house. Okay, that's number one. Number two, we got the banks here and credit card issuers raising people's credit limits without them even asking. Okay, this is phenomenon. It's pretty profound, and most of you out here are attesting to the fact that this is going on. So Greg Mannarino is not making this up out of thin air. And now we have our lovely, caring, they love us so much, our members of Congress talking about, more stimulus. But what they won't tell you is what they're doing is making you a slave to the system. Imagine that. Imagine a system where you're getting houses for basically no money down, no credit check, no closing costs, no nothing anymore, okay? You're getting increases in your credit line without even asking for it. People are already indebted beyond their eyeballs, trying to make ends meet by borrowing from their credit cards. And now you have, again, members of Congress who out here want to give people more cash. Okay, it sounds great on paper, right? But all it's going to do, number one, is make them more dependent on the system, which is what is going on. All of this. And nobody's been ringing that bell louder than this guy before anybody else, okay? They're making slaves to the system. They want people to become dependent on it. Okay, sure, hand these people a check and they're going to love you. They're going to vote for you too. Probably, as people have no idea what's actually going on, that they're being made slaves to the beast system. You understand? Okay, but our members of Congress, believe me, they're not that stupid. They're all multimillionaires, okay? They all know what's going on. They understand that they have to feed into the Federal Reserve. They have to allow the Federal Reserve to continue to create cash out of thin air, balloon the money supply, which will foster even higher inflation. Imagine my shock. I'm shocked. Can I see your shock face, please? I can see you. Yeah, I can. But that's the mechanism here. Imagine how freaking twisted it is. So more talks of that. Again, newsflash, creating more cash out of thin air to disperse to people. Well, guess what? It's not going to help inflation. In fact, it's going to exacerbate it. Now, Mark Cuban, excuse me, I have an itch. He said that, gold investors are dumb. Oh, Mark, what do you think of this, buddy? I got this terrible itch. Yeah, that's Mark Cuban. I don't like the guy very much. I don't think he likes me either, but that's fine. It's a mutual hatred or dislike. Anyway, let's now go over and look at the dog shit stock market, people. Before we look at the dog shit stock market, let's look at the dog shit wrapped in cat shit debt market. Global bonds are selling off. Okay, the MMRI, bang, 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 bang. We broke 250 today. Looks like we're going higher. Okay. This is spooking the market. And just let me put a perspective on this for you in case you don't know. Everything was looking okay. We had, several months ago, we had complete insanity in the debt market. Bond yields spiking and then dropping and then spiking and then dropping. Clearly a sign of instability. What happened then? Well, the central banks got in here and started buying more and more and more. And then all of a sudden we get the Bank of Japan, who decides to, tweak their monetary policy here, allowing their 10-year yield to float around and spook the market. The market doesn't know what to do with it or make of it. It's very clear as to what's happening. We have clearly an insolvent debt market, and it's unstable, and that instability is being reflected here in fear. Okay, how do we know there's fear? Did you see the dollar today? It went from being slightly lower at the open here, I'm talking about the relative strength of the dollar, to higher. Clearly a fear trade. Now you have the fear trade going on. You have bond yields rising as debt sells off, and it hit the stock market, so stock sold off. Oh, really? Imagine my shock. This is how it works. All right. So with that, again, look at my video from this morning. Look at the one I did last night. There's a big issue here, people, and it's not getting the attention that it deserves. Now, as I said, one or two things are going to happen. One, the central banks, the Federal Reserve, does nothing. They allow this whole freaking thing to implode, and the big implosion is going to start in the debt market. It looks like it might have started. Unless, of course, central banks get in here, the Federal Reserve, and start buying more. Now, what do you think is going to happen? Me personally, I still believe they're not done. I think they still need to create slaves to the system, henceforth why ninja loans, henceforth why credit limit increases, henceforth why more members of Congress want to dish out cash to anyone who wants it. Creating slaves to that system, use any mechanism possible and things you can't even think about, dream about, fantasize about, or whatever, to inflate the debt, to balloon the money supply. But again, sell the lie. What's the lie that they're selling? Oh, they're going to raise rates, and they've been raising rates for months and months and months and months. And guess what? Inflation keeps going higher, and there's only one way to do it. They got to keep raising rates. There's no other solution. You have no idea how much this bothers me, okay? You don't hear a sound, not a peep, not a syllable, nothing from the mainstream financial channels about contracting the money supply? Nothing. Have you ever heard it? I bet you haven't, those of you that follow the mainstream, because I flip through those dog shit channels every freaking day and I laugh at them. I laugh at these people, but at the same time, it makes my blood boil. It makes my blood freaking boil, all right? And I'm sweating. I'm telling you people, one day, Greg Mannarino, he's going to vape a lock right here on camera. I'm getting chest pain. Anyway, no, I'm not. I'm kidding. So as I was saying, yeah, not a mention at all. There's only one solution. And you know how do you know how you can be absolutely certain? I want you to think about what I'm going to tell you. How you and I, of course, can be completely sure that there's no other alternative to slowing or stopping inflation than raising rates. There's only one. Well, that's what they're telling us. That's what the central bankers of the world are telling us. They got to keep raising those rates because it's going to work. Sometime in the future, it's mythical thing is just going to happen. Oh, and inflation is just going to miraculously stop. No. All they need to do is contract the money supply, people. Imagine for a nanosecond, let's just say a brain dead, mummified president. Let's just talk about, I'm going to be nice for a minute. President Biden, grow a set of, you know what I'm talking about? They lurk down there. Grow a set for a nanosecond. Or President Trump, crawl out of the woodwork, sir, and inform people, because I know you went to some big lofty school on economics or whatever the hell it was. Well, why don't you come out, anybody who's got a bigger voice than mine, and say, you know what? Central banks, all they need to do is contract the money supply, and they can do this by having the financial institutions raise their capital reserves, and boom, there goes inflation. But no, you know why you don't hear this? I'm going to tell you again, in case you're new here, all right? Because the goal must be to inflate, and it's not going to stop. People, this freak show, let me tell you something. When I said I'm going to vape lock, I meant it. I'm really going to do it on camera. So, tune in. Because one day, Greg's going to hit the floor, and I'm going to need one of you out here to call a freaking ambulance. Anyway, so that's the story. I think, as usual, I covered a lot with you. I try to touch on, and I try to reinforce the important points repeatedly. Okay? And what I want from all of you out here, I only want one thing. Number one is, first of all, for you and I to get this out there. All right. Where are you going to hear this stuff? I don't know. Maybe there's a few other YouTubers out here talking about this. I don't even know, because I don't follow anyone else. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what they're talking about. Years and years ago, I used to follow a lot of people. Then all of a sudden, they got into my head a little bit, and they were kind of swaying the way I think, and it screwed me completely up. So now what I do is I just look up my own data, my own research. I take in all this stuff on my own. If you saw my desk, it's like an explosion. I got papers and crap everywhere all over the place here, and it's just a total disaster as I sit here and try to analyze all this stuff. But what we need to do, you and me, seriously, people, is start talking about these things. There's chat rooms and all over the place. There's one on my website, traderschoice.net. It's free to you. It's free to everybody. Get in there, start talking about these things, share these videos, create your own videos. How's that? Here's an open invitation to all of you. I have a pretty nice following, thanks to all of you, nearing on 100 million views. Start your own blog, and I will help promote it, okay? We got to get this out. That's just my opinion. If you don't think you want to keep this to yourself, that's fine. But I think we need to get more people on board here. I don't know. That's just my take on it. Look, I hope this blog makes a difference in your life, okay? A positive difference in your life. And all of you absolutely make a positive difference in mine. I want you to know that when I read through the comments and I see the frustration, I hear it in your comments. You're just like me. But we're not going to let them win. There is no way on this earth, off this earth, or any other place that they're going to win. All right, we're going to stay ahead of the curve as always. We know what they're doing to us. It's a slaughter. It's a freaking slaughter on an incredible scale. And it's out of control. All right, look, this guy here right here loves you a lot. Please, people, do comment. Please share the video. Get it out there. I will see all of you in the morning. And, well, that's all. All right.